Hi, this is here Dave Cos. You're listening to 94.7.
Hi, this is Michael Angot.
Michael Angot coming to the stage.
Michael.
That's so good.
Pick me.
I'm so cool.
Cool as a langot.
Cool Angot.
I'm the coolest Angot.
What's up, Pandis?
You're listening to the Pandesoul podcast.
Join us as we unpack the flavors of being Filipino
And American. We're your hosts, Dre Magix, the fictitious professor, and EJ Villaman.
And we hope you're hungry.
Because there's plenty to go around. What's up, Pandis? Welcome back to the Pandesoul podcast here on the internet. We're your hosts. I'm the Dre Magix.
I'm fictitious professor.
And I'm EJ Villamin.
And if you like our content, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're talking about Ninoy Aquino Day. Ninoy Aquino Day is coming up. It's coming up on the 21st
Of
August. So Ninoy Aquino Day. What do you guys know about Ninoy Aquino? And it could be the stuff we just looked up on Wikipedia.
I didn't look at any Wikipedia.
Wow.
Yeah, no thoughts head empty about it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I know he's a figure in our history.
Mm-hmm. So it's this
Very
weird
prominent
thing, right? Because I was looking up what are the holidays left in the year
Right.
for the U.S. and the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And Ninoy Aquino Day popped up, which was like the closest one. And it brings up this whole conversation about there are a bunch of holidays that we celebrate that they don't.
Right.
And obviously they go hard on some hella holidays that we're just like, it's a picnic day,
Right.
you know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
a feast day
Yeah,
in the
this
church.
Right. Like
It's
they
a
go
Fiesta month?
hard on Easter.
Dude, I wonder if
Hard
Nino Aquino Day is like this is the last holiday before the holidays.
Oh shit.
Because it's like end of August and then September 1.
Fuck. It's
Ang Pasko ay sumapit.
yeah. It's like it's their version of our Halloween.
Yeah.
Like once
yeah.
Halloween's done, you're like, all right, time to set up for the real holiday.
Yeah.
Right.
So
leave a comment if that's the case.
dude, do you guys celebrate? Did you know Ninoy Aquino Day was coming up? From what I looked up, what I researched, this was kind of a cool thing too, because I got to research about a national hero, right? Because
Yeah.
they didn't teach me this shit.
Yeah,
in
he's
school.
the airport.
right,
Yeah.
named
and
after
he,
him.
I always heard the name around, right?
Right.
Aquino is such a famous name.
Mm-hmm.
Ninoy Aquino, he was married to Corazon Aquino, who was the president eventually.
Ooh,
But
lovely.
yeah, but they were the opposing side to the Marcos regime.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the Ninoy Aquino Day commemorates his assassination.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings up this whole thing of like, wouldn't it commemorate his birth, or like why was it commemorating the assassination?
Oh.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day, is that his assassination or his birth?
That's his birthday.
It's his birthday, right?
Same thing with the president's days.
Dude,
Whose
all the
birthday is
presidents,
President's Day?
all the presidents aren't born on the same day.
Well, but like
Uh,
like in February with the President's Day holiday, it's like supposed to be in between George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Like both of their birthdays were in February.
Wow.
Oh.
They were both.
Don't hurt yourself.
Mises.
Yeah,
No.
Aquarium.
Tauro. Tauro milk tea.
Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Rhinoceros.
Sago Tauro milk tea.
But yeah, it's interesting how the Philippines chooses to. I guess the culture is that there. I don't know. Do you think it's a cultural thing that they choose to commemorate an assassination rather than like a birth?
I think also in the Catholic Church, there's like martyr days where folks are celebrated when they were martyred.
Like Mother Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
If she was martyred.
Like how to.
Did your family produce? They didn't pronounce it martyr, right?
They pronounce it Martes.
Martes?
No,
Martyr?
I don't think they ever use
Martyr-
that. That's not in their
Martyrs in
lexicon.
heaven. It's not in their lexicon.
It's not in their lexicon,
Mm.
or is it dictionary?
We have a Corolla.
it's champagne colored, and
Champagne.
the Camry is maroon.
Yeah, always.
We have 5 of them.
Yeah.
Maroon 5 Camry.
Have you noticed? Did we talk about this on the pod yet?
What?
Everyone's first car was like some amalgamation of those 4 colors.
Wow, hold on. That's an expensive word. Amalgamation.
Colors. Oh, the amalgamation proclamation.
Yeah.
Amalgamation of which?
It was one of like 4 to 5 colors, right? It was like
Uh huh.
it was forest green,
Yeah, that was
maroon.
my first car. Yeah.
Mine too. Mine was forest green.
Wow.
Maroon.
Yeah.
Champagne.
Yeah.
Or just white.
Right.
No one had a black car. I guess I had a black car, but it looked so faded that it looked green.
Dig.
there you
So
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm in your guys' court.
Yeah.
I just want to be included.
Yeah.
Just happy to be
Adjacent.
here.
Yeah. Mine was a forest green Volvo.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah. My
Wow.
forest
It
green.
was a hand me down.
MPV. Mazda,
Nice.
Mazda
Wow.
MPV.
There you go.
Mine was a black Altima.
Dang.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you guys? What was the like dream car you wanted at that age?
Toyota Celica.
I mean, I didn't really have
That's
a
a
dream
rice
car.
rocket.
I was like, let me just get a car.
I feel like everyone, like you got really hyped when you saw like your homie with like that G35.
Damn,
Or-
you guys are rich homies.
No, well, I mean,
Rich
I don't
homie
know.
Quan.
It wasn't me. It was like G35 with like that Lancer Evo.
Ah,
Like,
yeah.
those were the two. Like,
Dang.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's like into cars.
Yeah,
Right.
this guy
I remember those.
knows.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Ninoy Aquino. So this was cool actually. So he had was it a heart attack or a stroke, but he decided to self exile himself for 3 years.
Was it because he was opposed to Marcos, the Marcos regime, or just because he had a heart attack?
I think it was both. Where like, you know, if you're opposing someone in a position of power like that,
Yeah.
and you don't win, they're probably gonna come after you,
Mhm.
Right.
right? Especially if they're like a tyrant.
Mm.
So I know a few people personally that have family in power there,
Mhm.
and I think honestly, I think one side of my family is like in government in the Philippines. I haven't met them.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories from my mom, like, and it's not like the president level. It's like city government, or,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
province.
Which does like the most.
Yeah.
Well, most effective to your province. and
Well,
to-
here's the thing. I don't know what government is like over there because you hear these stories of corruption
Right.
Mhm.
and poverty. But then on the internet, you know, you see these like beautiful metro cities and like lush jungles and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's interesting how much of a balance, like the corruption part is. Like the Philippines is not Gotham City. You know what I mean? How Gotham is always portrayed as this fucking wasteland of like corruption.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
Right. But then, you know, it's on TV all the time with all these beaches and tropical things. I don't know. You've been the most recent.
Yeah.
What is the balance there, would you say?
I mean, it looks. I even went to the province, and it's a very like westernized feel. It's just it happens to be in the province.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's because all these companies, restaurants are coming in and developing buildings in
Mhm.
the way that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was visiting family out there, they were saying, like my uncle pointed out some construction, like, oh, they're fixing water, and then when they
Yeah.
finish it, they're gonna dig up the exact same thing and then put in like electricity or like internet.
Yeah.
So there's no communication between all the different departments to like dig at the same time and install what they need to.
I see.
So it's a little like scattered, but
It's
then
just-
when it's like, you know, any of the malls or any of the higher end places, it's all kind of like the company developing that public area and that
Yeah.
public land for use and like consumption.
Well, did you, as like a visitor, did you feel the government stranglehold of the land?
Not necessarily. I mean, also some of my family's friends, like used to be a mayor of the town that they grew up in, and I have like
Right.
some aunts that are like in the actual like municipal government and people who work for the farms of the government or whatever, just like almost kind of like when you work for like the city here.
Right.
It's just on a smaller scale. I do see the improvement. I mean, I don't know what the books look like and how like all that wealth is spread, or even if it's wealth, because I mean, if it's taxed, you're supposed to spend the tax dollars and return it into like, invested in the
People
province,
in the
Community,
land,
and it looks like it's happening from the outside. Just for that one particular province that I went to.
Where'd you go?
McDonald's.
Baclara.
No.
No.
The-
So this is kind of badass actually about Kuya Tito Aquino. He was in prison for 8 years after martial law was declared in the country, right? While he was imprisoned, he ran for government,
Yeah,
which is
badass.
like kind of dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a power move.
Yeah, right. And then it says he eventually led in the opinion polls and was initially leading the electoral count, but lost to Imelda Marcos, which kind of says something about Filipino government, right? Where there are some values and some things that are very prominent within the people as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
that it's sometimes they look past the politics part.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, a lot of people, okay, I'm not knocking the culture at all. Because even me, sometimes, mostly me, like let's be real, a lot of the politics shit goes over my head.
Yeah.
Until I like sit down and read it,
Yeah.
not just read it, listen.
Right.
So I figured, if you're busy trying to survive and live your life, you're not worried about politics like that, are you?
Are you talking in general?
No, yeah, in general, or even like coming from that
yeah.
native Filipino lens. Like if you try and put yourself in their position, if you're trying to feed your family and you're working at the palenque or you're trying to sell all your shit,
Mm-hmm.
your politics isn't a main concern of yours. It's surviving. It's feeding your family.
Yeah, and you're just hoping that these politicians will help you survive.
Yeah. It
Provide.
depends. Yeah. It depends on what like the politician's platform is.
Mm-hmm.
Because then if it directly affects somebody's livelihood, then they got to be concerned.
Right.
But yeah, I see what you're saying though. Like it's like, I can't look that far because I have to focus on what's in front of me right now.
Right. And it's kind of like our battle here with our generation's mental health,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right? When our parents, and I didn't know this until recently. If you're born there and you immigrated here, it's like your 1.5 generation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you guys know this?
Yeah.
And I get it. And okay, if I'm wrong, fucking sorry. Right? Which I'm about to say some ignorant shit.
Okay.
But not super ignorant, like I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Just because of where I come from and how I was raised.
Yeah.
But do you think some of this stuff is maybe grasping at straws a little bit, where like everything is labeled? I don't know. Just from my personal upbringing, I never felt the need to really. The word's not identify, but to really like proclaim that I'm 1.5 generation 1.5 or generation, second or
Yeah.
Mhm.
first generation. It's always, to me, it's just always been like, oh, I'm Filipino. I live in Carson, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that is that's not the right question. That's an insensitive question. The sensitive version of that question is, do you personally think, in your experience, you feel the need to label yourselves as such? Right? Because we can't speak for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with a topic that's as touchy as shit like this.
Mhm.
Right? So for me, I felt like I didn't have to label myself in that specificity.
Yeah.
Where it was just always like, oh yeah, I'm Filipino. Which is why I never asked myself, am I Filipino enough?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So maybe that just doesn't apply to me, and maybe that's not my fight, so I'm not going to fight it. I'm just trying to learn more about it. You know what I mean?
I see.
So as someone that's like, that grew up here and was born here, or like even someone that's like half, what are your experiences there?
Yeah, it's interesting for even wanting to have a political awareness of the climate in the Philippines, because it's like there's just like a lot of shit happening here too.
Yeah.
So then it's like having an understanding, at least so I basically know if it's like safe or dangerous to go visit.
Yeah. So you never felt the need to like know what's going on there?
I never felt the need to know, because it was either like talked about with my family or on social media it was mentioned, where I at least have like a bullet point of, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's happening.
Right. What about you,
EJ? Well, I think regarding your like the generational talk, I too never really put my mind to that and never really cared about. Well, I'm gonna take that back. Not cared. It never bothered me being labeled the first or second or 1.5 generation.
Right.
And to me, it just doesn't matter. I mean, you could use it in a positive way. You could use it in like a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that.
Bless you.
I wonder if the mics picked that up.
No, probably not.
No. What was your question again?
I mean, do you personally use those labels, and do you think it's necessary in your life, or do you think it's kind of grasping at straws just to have it in like a context where the not less experienced, but the less integrated can talk about it? It's like a vernacular for people who need the vernacular almost?
I see. Yeah. For me, no. I don't need it. I think grasping straws, yeah, but I mean like maybe at one point in my life, in my adventure, like I have I just
okay, Zelda.
I just had a D&D session yesterday, so in my adventure.
My adventures.
My gallivanting.
Nice.
Underwater adventure.
Dude, I was so wet. Yeah, I don't think it really like matters to me at this point in my life anymore. Back then it might have. And I think just because we have gone through it and moved past it doesn't mean that we necessarily need to like push away the fact that that still exists and people want to have that.
For sure. Like, I'm not saying don't get rid of it or anything like that, because that's why it exists, because someone out there needs it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's needed, even if it's needed by just one person on Earth, then it's fucking needed,
Yeah, it's
right?
needed, yeah. And then when they're finished with it, they're finished with it.
Yeah.
And then you could, like, I never really identified myself as, well, no, I take that back. I've identified myself as Filipino before, and then I've also identified myself as Filipino American, because I slowly felt that, like, I am not Filipino. I'm Americanized Filipino. And
okay.
For me, like, it wasn't a problem with that, because I don't want to generalize my experiences with all of Philippines or my experiences with I just didn't want to generalize that.
Okay, I have a question now for both of you, because for me, I never felt the need to differentiate that until I started meeting people in LA. You know what I mean? If I was on the same career, if I was on the career path I started off in, and if I wasn't in entertainment or wasn't in the arts at all, I would still operate under the guise that I'm I'm Filipino and I don't need to discuss it with anyone. I'm just living my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think.
But
like,
now you're talking about these stories and like the representation fight and all these things, and now it's needed to use that vernacular because now we need to talk about it and now we need to specify, right? And I don't know if you have been in that like culture your whole life, Vic, and I know EJ you probably haven't because you're like pretty far removed from the LA and the entertainment scene.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start realizing that we need, like, you had to start differentiating the Filipino FilAm thing? Because for me, I still don't for myself. Like,
For sure.
I don't. Okay, so when you said identify as Filipino, it sounds weird now.
Filipino. As a Filipino.
Or FilAm, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's all just Filipino but different. It's all just the same shit, just from different places. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just depends on where you want to like
Yeah, it's
be at.
It's
right?
only differentiation for those on the inside. Like everyone on the outside is just like, oh, it's just the same kind of category. But it's like,
Oh, by the way, there's a new video. I don't know if it's new, but Rachel Ray makes adobo, and it's worse than Jeffrey's Arcarians. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like there's certain connotations within each category of like awareness and concern from those in the other categories.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and it seems like actual Filipinos in the Philippines are the ones who care the most about the categories.
Oh, I'm thinking the opposite. Where it's the FilAms here that care about the categories.
Well, it's because the Filipinos have otherized us, right? So that's what we're getting at with the Stoles thing, where it's like
right. So do you think it's just a big game of like tag back?
I mean, pretty much.
I hope not, but it's just that's what it seems like
That's
at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, I'm not blaming it on anyone when I say that's fucked up, but
Yeah.
like in general, like, oh, that's fucked up.
Like,
yeah,
You know what I
because
mean?
it seems like, you know, those of us in the diaspora are just kind of just like living our lives trying to figure out what sense we can make of the culture at large.
Yeah.
Just because it's also super nuanced within the country itself.
Yep.
And then it seems like the crab mentality sneaks in from the Filipinos in the Philippines, being like, oh, these Filipino Americans always do this, or oh, these. I feel like the dialogue is mostly against Filipino Americans. I don't hear as much about like Filipino Canadians or Filipino Australians. And it's like this weird keeping us othered instead of being like, oh, that's what it's like.
Do you think it's a
in different
jealousy thing?
We're talking in generalities too, but I would hope not. But I mean,
Right.
Fucking America, the mountain of gold.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
Either way, it's a tough conversation, right? Like,
Right.
it's just that's the way the chocolate crumbles sometimes.
Right.
Where you're not gonna make everyone happy. Like, someone's gonna get pissed off with
That's
even just the
fine.
shit we said. Someone's gonna get pissed off.
Yeah.
But also, like, these are our thoughts. And,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, it's not like we're not owning up to our ignorance on shit.
Oh, totally.
Because I'm completely aware of my ignorance a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, when people ask us, what's your nationality? They're normally insinuating, like, what's your ethnicity?
Right. Dude,
Dude,
right?
That was so. So we were at the hookah place.
Yeah.
Fig got so mad because all of us got what she was trying to do.
Right.
All of us got it. But there was
Yeah, we were kicking it, and then there are these two women. It seemed like they were on a date. They were like asking each other questions.
they were playing one of those like like card games that we're not really strangers type things.
Oh, Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah. Porno password.
Uno.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they like decided to include us in on the conversation topic, and they're all like, "Oh, where are you guys from?"
Yeah.
And we're like,
Vic's like,
"Don't run around."
Vic's like, Pasadena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, where are you from before that? And
Yeah.
he goes, oh, West Covina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where he's like,
Rolling
where are my parents from? Rolling Heights.
Yeah.
And then like eventually he got
Yeah.
to like, Vic was like, are you asking me for my
ethnic makeup.
ethnic makeup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
Hey, some people gotta like hear it.
And
Yeah.
And then fucking the best part after all that, because you can tell they was like, oh, you
Yeah.
know, the best fucking part was they went to rap and they're like, where are you from? This motherfucker goes, Northridge. He's like the valley.
Like, boom, mic drop. That's awesome. So they didn't get any of your guys' answers?
I mean, first of all, like, did you really need our opinion on something, or were you just
Yeah.
trying to like express to your date how like spontaneous you were?
Yeah. Yeah. Both of these people were like not Filipino,
Yeah.
so they're like, yeah. I was like, what?
Like,
Interesting.
What are you trying to do right now?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to kick it and
I know.
eat and smoke my hookah.
This is life of a Dash Am.
The Dash Am?
Dang.
Dude, that's a cool shirt.
Dash Am?
Dash Am radio. Well, anyway, back to Nino Aquino. He got a heart attack, and he moved to the United States, and it was like a self-imposed exile for 3 years, and then just like Jesus, he returned after 3.
Just 3 of the number.
just 3. 365, and then at the airport is where he got assassinated.
Was that on his return back from the exile? Or was that just like,
Upon returning, yes. So someone like knew he was coming that day, and I guess they waited for him, because here it says upon returning to the Philippines at Manila International Airport, he was shot and killed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's video of that.
Fuck,
Yeah.
for real?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I remember watching it.
So then they name it after him.
So yes, so apparently Manila, it used to be called Manila International Airport. Now it got renamed to Ninoy Aquino International Airport.
Mm-hmm.
But me and EJ looked something up that last year they're trying to rename it back to Manila International Airport,
Dang.
which is like,
I wonder, I mean, there may be good or bad reasons. I don't know. I haven't done the research yet. But that is just an interesting conversation, an interesting topic
Right.
as to why that's happening.
yeah. Have you seen the Kingslayer yet, or the Kingmaker?
King's Castle.
King's Castle, White
Burger,
Castle,
Burger King.
Burger King,
Booking King?
King,
I saw
King
that.
of the Ring,
So what's the king? What?
the Kingmaker,
What's the Kingmaker Slayer?
Demon Maker. It is the documentary about Imelda Marcos.
Oh no, I haven't seen any of that stuff yet.
Have you?
Mhm.
It's wild, just the way, and I've talked about it on the pod. Just the way it was. It wasn't even written. It's the way she speaks.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Oh yeah. She's like
so
savior complex.
traumatic. Yeah, savior complex, mother. Like the argument she was making. Oh, I do these things out of a mother's love, which is so triggering. Then I'm like, yo, is she the bad guy or the good guy?
That sounds like if anyone watched Searching, Deborah Messing's character in that one movie where she
Mhm.
does anything for her son. She ended up being the bad guy. Spoiler alert.
Dang.
Gosh.
Like that's like Scarlet Witch.
It's like Harry Potter.
Is it like Harry Potter?
Can be.
No, she was the good guy. Oh, it depends from what angle you're looking at, I guess.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
That's wild though. Yeah, I need to watch and educate myself more on that. I think as a FilAm, I'm just not as into a lot of the Filipino history.
right.
Which I don't want to get knocked on, but like it's just there's a lot of
Right.
culture here too that I gotta learn.
right,
And a lot of history here that I gotta learn.
right.
And
Unless
I'm living through it.
Yeah, I mean, look, the real fact of the matter is, you don't know about some of these people until they write a musical rap about it. You know, like
Right.
I didn't know Hamilton's story until
Oh, dude, that was
1776.
Yeah.
Right? So when the Ninoy Aquino,
yeah.
you know, who is it? Who's
They're
that
the-
guy? Lin-Manuel Miranda, get on that shit.
Yeah.
They have a.
What can I say? I say salam.
Nice.
Thanks. No, but like I try and learn because you hear these names
Yeah.
growing up, right? Especially if your culture, you're close to the culture from back there. Someone's saying these names like Ninoy Aquino and which I'm like, oh, is that Chris Aquino? Like, how are they related, right?
Yeah.
And I guess they're related.
Yeah. Daughter?
Daughter, something like that.
Yeah.
But then also you hear these things like People Power Movement,
Yeah.
and you hear Jose Rizal and Lapu Lapu
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
Jose Andres,
Yeah.
right? And you want to know who these people are and what they've done, but also, I mean, like life gets in the way, unless you actually want to like sit down and
Yeah.
put head to book,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
And after you wipe the blood off your book, you have to read it.
And the tears.
But yeah, it's or like Andres Bonifacio, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is another day we have to start researching.
Oh,
by
that's
the
another
way.
day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But just knowing that part of history is kind of interesting, right? Because
Yeah.
if you identify with something, why wouldn't you know? And look, eventually I'll learn more about it. Eventually not, because the reality is you're not going to know the whole scope of where you
Yeah.
came from.
Right.
Yeah.
No one can.
And like
From the dawn of time,
from before all
Before a long time ago.
else.
in the beginning.
In the beginning.
I feel like the only way that we're gonna get it like head on is if someone stitches this
Right.
video and tells us
Directly to the forehead.
stitches this video and tells us how wrong we are and educates us,
Yeah, and you know what? We'll learn.
right?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do that.
Just
Let us know.
be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget, I identify as a dash am.
Dash M Radio.
Dash Ham Radio.
1037. The Wave.
No way.
Hi, this is your Dave Cos. You're listening to 94.7.
Hi, this is Michael Angot.
Michael Angot coming to the stage.
Michael.
Michael. That's so good.
Pick me.
I'm so cool.
Cool as a langot.
Cool.
Angot.
I'm the coolest Angot.
It's gonna be this whole episode is so like intuitive and like trying to be intelligent, and we have the one booger joke at the fucking end, and that's the clip we're gonna post on social media. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, this is such a funny episode," and we're talking about all this like deep culture shit.
It's the biggest bait and switch ever.
There you go.
We're good. We're the best.
We're masters at that.
Yeah, we're the masters.
Master
At,
switch.
we're master end.
Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap on this episode.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything to add?
No, I still don't really understand who
He,
what he did.
Me neither. It's telling to how important education is, especially about your own culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just oh shit. I heard this name in passing, but
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I still don't understand. And are we fucked up for like signaling our ignorance on shit?
I don't think so because
Like,
I
are we
don't
gonna
think,
get hate?
I don't think. I mean, if we get hate, it's fine. But I don't, like as there are billions of people on this earth that maybe hundreds of millions of them think the same way that we do.
Right.
So like that's an testament to like, hey, what kind of resources are out there for us to like look at that aren't boring? I mean, I'm not gonna
Dang.
lie. Like,
Who's gonna write a rap
there's-
musical?
like, there's stuff that you can like teach people and make it not fun. I make it fun.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna.
How would you make it fun?
Coloring book.
How would you make Filipino history fun?
if you made it like an initial D anime.
Dang.
Dude, an anime version of Filipino history?
Yeah, dude.
Or like a
Filipino
video
history?
game?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like Dynasty Warriors?
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, that's $1 billion idea.
Pesos, 100 million pesos idea.
Yeah.
What about you? How would you make Filipino history more accessible to idiots like us? Rule 34.
Yeah. Dang.
What's that?
Oh,
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
look it up on
Look it up.
Wiki.
Order 66?
No.
No,
Oh,
You should know.
look it up right now on camera.
I'm going to look it up on camera.
There you go.
Rule 34.
Toyota camera.
Minus 6.25.
Rule 34. Supreme
You knew it.
I did not know there was that.
Really?
Look up if there's one on this. Rule 34 FilAm history.
Jeez. This is going to be good.
We're so
I think it's too
Ferd-
obscure.
Ferd in hand.
Is that what it says?
No, that's just mine.
Okay.
FilAm history. Oh. No,
Suck it.
that's
Suck it.
Dang.
King Tutankhamen. That's when two people are related. They have Titi in common.
Nice.
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 Yeah, it's a video game.
Video game. That'd be a cool one. What about like a Blue's Clues style show?
We do have a Filipino
Josh.
He's the host.
Josh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but instead of solving mysteries and shit,
Uh-huh.
you teach history.
Yeah?
Can
That'd
you
be-
say assassinate?
Gee.
That's fucked up. That's fucked
Can
up.
you say international airport?
Anyway, thank you so much, Pandis, for another cool episode of the Pandesoul podcast. Please do all the things on the internet. Click all the buttons on every website, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. If it's 5 stars. If it's not 5 stars, we don't know you.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah. Spotify, please hit the follow button. Leave a comment. Answer the poll. There's polls now.
There is?
I don't. Yeah. Yes, there is.
How tall?
How tall is the pole?
Yeah.
What's the circumference of your circumference?
8,
8
8
diameter.
diameter.
10,
Folded in half.
10.
5.
Galing. And you know all the things on social media: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Until next time, we've been your hosts. I'm the Dre Magics.
Fictitious professor.
And I'm EJ Villamin.
Have a happy Ninoy Aquino Day. And as always,
Don't forget your baon.
peace.
O sige na, Pandis.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Pandesoul.
And check out previous episodes on Spotify and YouTube.
Thanks for laughing, and join us next week, because there's enough Pandesoul to go around.
And don't forget your baon!